Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story that's really close to my heart. It's about a young boy named Ali and his first big adventure on his uncle's farm. It's a tale about facing your fears, building strength you never knew you had, and the incredible bond between humans and animals. I think there's a little bit of Ollie in all of us, so stick around. This story might just inspire you to try something new and amazing. Picture this: wide open green fields stretching as far as the eye can see, the smell of fresh hay in the air, and the gentle sound of the wind rustling through the trees. This was the magical world Ollie stepped into every time he visited his uncle's farm. It was his favorite place on earth, a complete escape from the busy city life he was used to. But one particular summer, something special caught his eye and his heart. Out in the main pasture, he saw them, a herd of magnificent horses. Their coats shimmered in the sunlight, a mix of chestnut browns, sleek blacks, and snowy whites. They moved with a grace and power that was simply breathtaking. Some were grazing peacefully, while others galloped across the field, their manes and tails flying behind them like banners of freedom. Ollie stood by the wooden fence, completely mesmerized. They weren't just animals. They were living, breathing poetry in motion. His uncle, a kind man with a warm smile and eyes that held the wisdom of the land, came and stood beside him. He noticed a look of pure awe on Ali's face. "They're beautiful, aren't they?" his uncle said, his voice gentle. Ali could only nod, his eyes still fixed on the powerful creatures. "Have you ever thought about learning to ride, Ali?" his uncle asked. The thought sent a thrill of both excitement and nervousness through Ollie. He looked at the horses, so big and strong, and then at himself, feeling quite small in comparison. He'd seen people ride in movies, looking so confident and in control, but could he ever do that? It seemed like a huge, almost impossible challenge. He confessed his mix of feelings to his uncle. His uncle chuckled softly. "It's natural to feel that way," he said, placing a reassuring hand on Ollie's shoulder. "But let me tell you a secret. Riding a horse isn't just about getting from one place to another. It's a journey that teaches you so much more. It teaches you balance, not just in the saddle, but in life. It teaches you bravery, how to face something that scares you and overcome it. And most of all," he paused, looking at Ollie seriously, "it teaches you discipline. You have to be patient, you have to be consistent, and you have to respect the horse. It's a partnership." Those words, balance, bravery, and discipline, echoed in Ollie's mind. It wasn't just about riding anymore. It was about becoming a better, stronger person. The fear was still there, but now it was mixed with a powerful new feeling: determination. He looked up at his uncle, a new fire in his eyes, and said, "Yes, I want to learn. I really want to learn." And so Ali's journey began. The very next weekend, he was back at the farm, ready for his first lesson. His uncle introduced him to a gentle, older horse named Patches. Patches had a calm demeanor and kind, knowing eyes. He was the perfect teacher for a beginner. The first step wasn't even getting on the horse. It was learning to connect. Ollie learned how to approach Patches calmly, how to groom his coat with soft brushes, and how to gently place the saddle on his back. His uncle explained that building trust was the most important foundation for any rider. Then came the moment of truth, getting into the saddle. With his uncle holding the reins and giving him a boost, Ollie swung his leg over and found himself sitting high atop Patches. The world looked completely different from up there. At first, it felt wobbly and strange. Every little movement Patches made felt huge, and Ollie clung on tightly. His uncle led Patches on a slow walk around the paddock, encouraging Ollie to relax his body, to sit up straight, and to feel the rhythm of the horse's walk. The first few lessons were challenging. Ali learned that his body had to move with the horse, not against it. He had to learn to use his legs to give gentle cues and his hands to guide lightly on the reins. There were times he felt clumsy and frustrated. He'd lose his balance or give the wrong signal, and Patches would stop in confusion. But Ollie remembered his uncle's words: discipline. He didn't give up. Every single weekend, without fail, Ollie was back at the farm. Rain or shine, he was there, ready to practice. He started with walking, then progressed to a trot. Trotting was a whole new level of challenge. It was bouncy, and Ollie had to learn to post, rising and sitting in rhythm with the horse's steps. It took weeks of practice, but one day it just clicked. He found the rhythm, and suddenly he wasn't just bouncing along, he was flowing with the horse. It was an incredible feeling of accomplishment. As his skills grew, so did his confidence. He started to feel less like a passenger and more like a partner. He learned to anticipate Patches' movements and to communicate with subtle shifts in his weight and gentle touches. The fear he once felt had been replaced by a quiet confidence and a deep respect for the animal he was riding. He was no longer just a boy on a horse. He was a rider. His uncle watched his progress with pride. He saw how Ali's posture had improved, not just on the horse, but in his everyday life. He stood taller, walked with more purpose. The shy, hesitant boy was transforming into a confident, focused young man. The bravery he learned in the saddle started to show in other areas of his life. He was more willing to try new things at school and more confident in speaking up. The ultimate test came one sunny afternoon. His uncle said, "Ollie, I think you're ready to ride out in the open field." This was the dream to gallop freely like the horses he'd watched on that very first day. He felt that old familiar flutter of nervousness, but this time it was excitement that when he mounted Patches, took a deep breath, and followed his uncle out of the paddock and into the vast green pasture. He started at a walk, then moved into a steady trot. Then, with a gentle squeeze of his legs, he asked Patches for more. Patches responded, breaking into a smooth, rolling canter. The wind rushed past Ali's face, and a huge smile spread across it. He felt an exhilarating sense of freedom and power, a perfect harmony between himself and the horse. He was no longer just riding. He was flying. He had done it. He had become a great little rider. Looking back, Ollie realized his uncle had been right all along. Horse riding had taught him so much more than just how to stay in a saddle. It built physical strength in his legs and core, but more importantly, it built mental and emotional strength. The discipline of practicing every weekend taught him the value of persistence. Facing the initial fear of riding such a large animal built a deep well of courage inside him, and the balance he learned on horseback helped him find better balance in his own life. The moral of Ali's story is a beautiful one. Sometimes the greatest lessons in life come from unexpected places. For Ali, it was the back of a horse. The experience built not just his skills, but his character. It forged strength, confidence, and a courage that would stay with him forever. It teaches us that pushing past our comfort zones and dedicating ourselves to a challenge can transform us in ways we never imagined. So, what's your horse? What's that one thing that seems a little scary, but also exciting? Maybe it's learning an instrument, trying a new sport, or public speaking. Whatever it is, I encourage you to embrace it. Like Ollie, you might just discover a strength and confidence you never knew you had. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me today. I hope it brought a little inspiration to your day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next story. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, stay brave and keep learning.